in my blood. So I want to start by thanking my family. Anyone who's run for office, has been elected to office, knows that none of that happens without the sacrifice of your family. And so I want to thank my wife, Adrian, my dad, and my mom, who taught me from a very young age that the Democrat Party is the right place to be. My brother Jimmy and his wife Susie, my sister Melissa, who will knock on doors even when she is exhausted, and she will make sure that I walk on doors. She keeps us all very honest. My grandmother, who's here with us tonight. I collectively refer to them as the aunts, but Aunt Angie, Aunt Nellie, Aunt Tita, thank you so much for everything you've done. Christian, Jaden, Alyssa, thank you. You did a great job with the pledge tonight. And my brothers-in-law, Justin and Matthew. Or Matthew's almost a brother-in-law. Gotta make sure you walk down the aisle for almost. To the chairman, thank you very much. To the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, Bishop Brown, thank you for the invocation. Philippa, I think you had some words to say about some of the other folks at the table in a second. But before I thank a few other folks, I want to recognize a couple of Hall of Fame members that aren't here with us, that we lost since the last time we gathered to induct members. I want to take a moment to recognize Bob Neal and Constable Robert White. Bob hired me at his law office, even though I knew nothing about probate law, but because he loved Democrats. When I came back from the special session where Wendy Davis, Senator, you know this very well, where Wendy Davis was filibustering, I thought I was going to get in trouble because I wasn't at work. All Bob wanted to know was, who's this Wendy Davis and what's going on in Austin? Bob was a Democrat through and through, and anyone who knows him or knew him knows that, and I miss him dearly. Constable White was taken from us far too soon, and he was someone that was a leader in West Side Democratic politics. Absolutely. You know, as my dad talked about, not a lot of Democrats get elected from that area. Robert White was someone that was dedicated and worked hard, knocked on every door that he could, and was extremely active. And I miss him every day, and wish he could be here with us. Also want to thank folks that, when I first started to run, I was 27 years old, and like my dad told you, he was of the opinion that it was a little bit too soon. And that was the way to make me do it. He knew I would do whatever he said I shouldn't do. And so, there's people that are there from the beginning, from day one. And you know who those people are when you've stepped up and put your name on the ballot. And when I first ran, I will tell you this, that list was very short. But I want to recognize a few people. Most of them are here tonight. Jaime Esparza is here. Could never have done this without your support and your help, and I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Lena Ortega. Who met with me every single week of my campaign, who talked to me about things we could do, things we could work on to make sure we were doing everything we could do week in and week out. Lena, I want to thank you for that. Mike Apodaca, where'd you go back and see? Where'd you go? There he is. Mike, we spent a lot of time together in 2008. And I want to thank you because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you and the hours you gave, because it's not just hours you gave to me. You've given countless hours to the Democratic Party of El Paso and of Texas. So thank you very much. Jim Scher, I know he's not here tonight, but Jim, everyone knows that Jim will give everything he can to make sure we elect good Democrats. And Jim was there for me when I first ran. I want to thank my colleagues in the Texas legislature. Senator Rodriguez, I know we're going to hear from you later, but you've been a hero of mine for a very long time. Getting to serve with you as a colleague is a distinct honor. Watching you work here in this community as our county attorney, I learned a lot about what leadership means. Watching you on the Senate floor, I've continued to learn from you, and I look forward to going back there with you and taking it to Dan Patrick and all the rest of those folks. Mary Gonzalez is here. I want to thank her for everything she's done. She fights hard for our schools. She fights hard for our teachers, for our kids. And it means a lot to me because my mother's a teacher. She's been there, she's done that. And watching you work and getting to work with you in the Texas House has been an honor as well. And so I want to thank you for everything you've done. Lon Burnham? Y'all met Lon Burnham? You seen her? Everybody, he probably introduced himself. He's one of the hardest working politicians I've ever known. Lon Burnham served in the Texas House for 18 years. Lon Burnham came out to, you didn't know this, Lon Burnham came out to El Paso multiple times to knock on doors for me, to help when it was hard to find help. When we didn't have a campaign office because we couldn't afford one, Lon Burnham met with us at Dunkin' Donuts in Northeast El Paso and grabbed a list and helped us raise money and helped us get out votes. Lon's running for the Railroad Commission, and if you don't vote for him, I'd be pretty disappointed in you. But I want to tell you, he's a good friend. He loves El Paso. He's been here many times to fight for this community without you even knowing. And if it were up to him, I'm sure he wouldn't even be sitting up here because that's not the kind of person he is. But he'd be out there working with you and talking to you. And so he's going across the state. That's a tough race, but it's an important race for the state. And so I ask for your support and your help for my friend Lon Burnham. I'm going to close with a few words about Pete Gallego and also with a challenge, because if I'm a true Democrat, I'm going to push you to do something more. I'm not going to be happy with the status quo. We can do better. And I know we can do better in Congressional District 23. I know we can do better because we've had Pete Gallego before. You know, leaving home and going to serve in the Texas House, you know, my mentor at home was my father. I could ask my dad every day of the week, you know, what to do about this or that. How, you know, who could I get advice from? That's who I leaned on. When I went to Austin, you know, my dad was back here in El Paso. The person that I leaned on and the person I talked to and the person who was there for me every day in and day out, as a mentor for me, was Pete Gallego. And that's not a bad guy to learn from, by the way. Pete started in the legislature at the same age that I had. He was 28 years old. He was a former prosecutor. And he had served for 20 years by the time that I got to the legislature. I didn't have a better friend on the House floor than Pete Gallego. He sat 2 desks back from me. And I'll never forget this. I was very, you know, in the district rerunning, you know how this goes. We got a fight on the west side and the northeast. And I got real nervous. Things were really tense in the House that session. And Pete walked up to me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "How's everything going?" I think you could tell I was a little bit tense by all the fights we were having and everything that was becoming so contentious. I said, well, I don't know, I'm thinking about the election, we barely won, I gotta go back, I gotta run a race. And he said, look, it's real easy. Do the right thing for El Paso. Because no matter what you do here, you could be 100% right about everything you do on this floor. When you go back, DeMarco's just gonna lie about you anyway. So don't worry about that. Do the right thing now. And that's how you get it done for your home community. He was right about that. He was right about that. Pete's a fantastic guy. So my challenge to you is this. I may ask you to come out and knock on doors for me and make phone calls for me, and may ask you to get contributions for my campaign in the fall. If you can't do that, that's closer for you. If you're working on any campaign, if you're knocking on any doors, if you're making any phone calls this November, they need to be for Pete Geiger. El Paso is going to be the difference. And let me make this clear. It could be the difference between a win and a loss. I don't want to wake up the day after the election thinking about what we could have done to deliver the election for a great congressman, for someone who's going to do great things for our community. I want to wake up and say, we got it done for Pete. So that's my challenge. That's what I want to leave you with, because that's the work that we have ahead of us. We know we got the primary, and some of us stand on different sides of different races, and that's natural. That's our in-family fights. We all know those happen, but we know after that, we got to gear up, and we got to make sure that we deliver for our community as a whole. And a big part of that is making sure that that man goes back to Washington, D.C. So I want to thank you for this honor. You have my commitment to continuing to fight for the ideals of the Democratic Party. I started fighting for them apparently at about 18 months. So I'll continue to, because it's all I know. We can do so much if we keep pushing forward and if we keep challenging ourselves. So let's do that from here forward. Thank you so much.